Alright, this tutorial is going to be on how to create a form that you would allow Scout parents to sign up for activities or campouts or whatever the purpose might be through the website. We're going to start off here in Google Drive, and for this example we're going to do a sign up for ice skating. Now this right here is basically information that was input on a spreadsheet through Google Docs. But what we're going to do is we're going to create the form first. And if you create the form first to collect whatever information that you need, it will automatically create the spreadsheet. And as you input information into the form, it will then populate into the spreadsheet that is attached to it. You can see in this example there are parent emails missing, Scout names, Scout rank, other information. So we're going to start off in My Drive. We're going to go down to Pack Events, and we are going to ice skating right here. Now you can see that there's a couple spreadsheets in here already, but we're going to go ahead and create a new form. So we're going to go here, Create Form. And because of the share settings that are already set on that folder, we're going to hit Create and Share. We're just going to click the default here. And this is where we're making the forms. So we're going to call the form ice skating. And as we scroll down, we are going to start selecting different types of questions. The first one is going to be parent name. And you kind of have to think ahead and think about the order that you're going to want this information on the spreadsheet, because once you create the form and then it creates a spreadsheet, you can see here we have parent name, parent email, Scout name. If for some reason you wanted to take this and move it over here, that messes up the entire form. You shouldn't move the columns, so kind of think ahead. Here's a parent name, and you can select what type of question this is. Is it a date? Is the answer a date, a time? Is it a checkbox, multiple choice? We're going to select text, and we're going to collect right here that is a required question. And we're going to go to the next one. Scroll down here. Add item. Next one. It's going to be parent email. It's already set at text. This is going to be required. Parent phone number. Required. Scout name. Den. Now here you can have it as a text so that they can automatically enter it in, but to be honest, I like to have everything consistent. So if I see Wolves Den 1, I want them all to say Wolves Den 1, and I don't want someone to accidentally just say Wolves. So what I'm going to do here is multiple choice, and then I'm going to start entering the options. Tigers. I don't need to select a den because we only have one tiger den right now. Wolves Den 1. Wolves Den 2. Bears Den 1. Bears Den 2. Webelos 1. Den. Actually, we only have one Webelos Den. Webelos 2, Den 1. Webelos 2, Den 2. This is also required. Number of skaters. How many skaters? And the help text is just kind of a notation about the question. So here we're going to put the cost. And on here you can see it's $13 a person. So we're going to come back here and write that. 13 a person. So that when they fill it out, they know how much it's going to cost. This is required. Actually, we're going to make this multiple choice. And we're going to say 1, 2, this is a required question. Okay, let me think. I think that's all the fields we're going to need for ice skating. You can always add to it later, but you want to be able to have the form complete by the time people are starting to sign up on it. You can also enter things here. When it comes to campouts, you have to know how many adults and how many kids. How many of the kids are scouts, how many of the kids are siblings, how many of the kids are boys, how many are girls, how many men, how many women. That's information that you need to know in order to put on the tour plan. So again, think ahead. Any information you're going to need later, it's good to get now, and make those required fields so they have to fill them out. Okay, I always uncheck this one. Show link to submit another response. I do not let people or responders edit after submitting. I want to keep control of that so that the numbers don't change after, say we have a family of 5 sign up, and if you allow them to change it after you've purchased their 5 tickets, now all of a sudden they can go back and say, oh, we only signed up for 2, so I don't allow that. Sometimes I click this, it's not a big deal, publish. After you're done, you hit send form, or actually up here, view live form. And this is what it's going to look like when someone opens it up. Parent name, email, phone number, scout name, den, how many skaters, and submit. That's your form. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to save this. If you hit send form, this will give you the link. And I'm going to hit right click copy. So I've got that information. Close that. And even though we gave this form a title, you can see up here it says untitled form. That's essentially the file name. So we're going to call this ice skating. You can see the title is now ice skating, so that when we close this, and don't worry about saving because it does it automatically, come here into the folder, here's the form. Now I'm going to sign up in this, because you'll see after the first person signs up, it then creates the table to go with it. and submit. Now when you go in here, and actually what it does, it creates it not in the folder you're in, but in the main drive you'll find the table. Scroll to the bottom, and here it is. Now this is the information that I've just entered into that form. Okay? Now after this, what we're going to do is we're going to change the name of this form to ice skating. Hit OK. And we are now going to move this form. Right click, move to, and we're going to put this in the folder that we just had for ice skating. Keep everything together. So now, going into pack activities, or pack events, ice skating. Here's the form I created. Here's the spreadsheet that it created. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add some information here that doesn't have to be on the forms, but the treasurer and everybody else who views this form is going to want to see this. So here we're going to say cost per person. Now when we enter it on the spreadsheet, it does not get entered into the form. So in this instance, it's $14. And we're going to change this column to dollars right here. There's $14, okay? Total due. And here we're just going to do a simple math equation. What we're going to say is equals the cost per person times the number of skaters. Enter. And you can see that the total due is $42. And we're going to get rid of these two zeros, the dollar cents. There you go. Okay, cost per person, total due. We're going to say amount paid. Right now, 0 is paid. We're going to change that to dollars. Method of payment. Date of payment. And balance. So right now, the amount paid is 0. The balance is equals total due minus amount paid, and that's what's due. So the treasurer can come in here and say, okay, well, on December 3rd, Ron wrote a check for $42. And you can see automatically the balance has now changed to 0. All right? So now I'm going to show you something else here. I'm going to enter another one here. Let's say John Doe. Just registered, and we're just going to add whatever here to make it quick. Johnny. He's a tiger. And 2 of them. Submit. Okay. So now when we go to the table, you can see that the new information is there right here. John Doe, Johnny, tigers, all that information. Now what we're going to do, and actually I should point out here, you can see that the titles here have a gray background. That means these fields were created based on the form. And you can see that these fields that we created on the table are white. Now what we're going to do is we're going to highlight these, select the first box, hold down Shift and select the last box. And you can see that that's highlighted everything. And after we highlight everything, we're going to hit Control C for copy. We're then going to select the boxes underneath it, hit Control V for Victor, or Control V as in Victor. And you can see that it copies all of the information. Not the exact information, but just the calculations. So you can see here I have 3 skaters, which equaled $42. He has 2 skaters that equal $28. Now it did copy the same payment I entered. So let's say he paid $28 and he paid by credit card. Now the balance is 0. So now what you can do is, all you have to do is enter those calculations on the first line once. After that, you can copy and paste it on as many entries as you want and get those numbers. Okay, that's very important to know. So now if you remember right, we already copied the link for this, and we're going to use that later to put it on the website. After we do that, I'll show that in the next video. But we've created the form and the table now for ice skating. Now, sometimes we're going to end up having a sign-up sheet that is at the PAC meeting because people wanted to sign up in person. And let's say, I know this is typed, but let's say it's handwritten. And now the treasurer needs to input that information. Instead of coming to our table or spreadsheet that we've created, the easiest way is to just come right into the form right here and type in the information just like I did. Now you have to hit View Live Form so that it's like this, okay? And you're just going to enter the information straight from the list that you have at the PAC meeting. And the beauty of entering it into the form is that it actually timestamps when that person signed up, the date and the time. And this is going to be really important when it comes to deadlines. Hey, the end of the deadline is Friday night. You got to sign up by Friday night in order to get the early bird fee. This is where that information comes from. Okay, so that's how to create forms and tables. And actually, let me show you one more thing. What you can do here in the table, if you wish, is you can go to Tools, Notification Rules, and you can select when any changes are made or anything on this sheet is changed or collaborators are added or anything like that, you can get an email. So when any changes are made, as in when anybody signs up, you can receive an email right away, or you can receive 1 email a day for all the people that signed up that day. So if you want to monitor a form and find out if anybody's signing up for it, instead of going back over and over and over checking for it, just simply get an email. And now whenever there's changes to this, I'm going to receive an email so I'll know people signed up.